Okay, so the newest chart that I'm working on is this 233 chords modal cage shape. Basically, cage bound arpeggios, chords, okay, tritonic arpeggios, chords, but now I'm adjusting the chart so that we can also see easily the fourth and the fifth pentatonics. So we look at this. How's this going to read? This is easier up here. Let's just review. We have, this is the C box where the fret nut would be right here. Okay, I don't want to draw it because we're going to move around a little bit, but that would be like the fret nut. The fret nut would be there. So this is like, here it is. It's even silver colored. You know, so that would, so the C, playing that C scale would be, and without that fret nut, it would be, and you know, you can play that whole thing down if you wanted to, if you know the patterns. So that would be a C flat or an E, and you can see the tritone E chord there. And here's the C. Okay, wow, that hurt. My fingernails are getting a little long, but that doesn't bother me because if I'm not comfortable playing a chord, there's a way that either you can play part of it, you can arpeggiate it, or you can just play in such a way where you're playing in an open position, you know, which makes it easier. Okay, so this is the new chart, and let's first review what are these circles. I'm sure is I'm sure is what people want to know. I said we'd have to move around. These circles are the same as this rollout here. Okay, so in the key of C, we're most familiar with C major, D minor, E minor, F major. But in guitar, the E minor and the F major are in the same C cage, right here. Okay, so I'm going to put my capo back on there for a minute. It's getting a little easier to use. If I get it like with one of these uh, grasshopper grasshopper grips, something from like jujitsu or something. Anyway, so um, yeah, so we'd be looking at, you know, the C-shaped C, the D minor shaped D minor. I like to work with these familiar shapes. Now here's our E minor shaped E minor, but then I'm just going to take that up. I'm going to switch fingers for a second. Take that up to an E major shaped F and bar it. So we have an E shaped, we got E minor shaped E minor and an E shaped F, and then to a G shaped G, to an A minor shaped A minor. And we could skip, since this is a review and want to make it easy, we can skip the half diminished. But there's kind of a similar relationship with the E shaped third minor and the E major shaped fourth major, and the C major shaped root chord, and the C minor diminished fifth shaped 7th chord. There's a similar relationship. They're both in the cage. So now, what is that relationship is interesting, because if you look at it, when we're doing a root scale in the C box there, this is C shaped. Okay, it's a little easier to explain over in the E box, and believe it or not, this is an extrapolated relationship. I first realized it in the E box. So in the E box we have the E shaped root chord. Okay, so let's just say this is an E box now. We're not going to call this a C box anymore. So it's going to be an E-shaped E major, right? Like that. So now everything changes, but we still go up a pentatonic scale with a G minor shaped, F sharp minor there. And I'm just playing like the bottom 3 notes of it. Actually, you can get the 4. And then we go to an A minor shaped G sharp minor, so you just play your A minor there. Now we should have okay, so why do we not have our E shaped, and then the first minor is that G minor shaped. That doesn't sound right. I'm usually playing something's up, and then with that A minor shaped, I'm wondering. Oh, wow. Okay, I'm gonna risk continuing making a mistake. I can tell you it's probably because I'm putting the capo on. So E is a good example, but it's a bad example because in the normal guitar cannot access the lower E shape. So I mean, one way to look at it is just look at the E shaped C up here. Another way, we can continue on that E shape here. So with our E shape here, when we get to this F sharp minor, okay, now the low over here on our F sharp minor here, the second minor is right here. Here's our root. We're going to start on the second right here, that G minor shape. See, it went below the capo. So what we were playing before was, that was an A minor kind of that was actually a G minor. That's why it didn't sound good. And the reason why I'm going to leave this in the lesson is because I want you to understand that a lot of times we take for granted when I say, oh, I'm going to play an F here, and I go like this, and you go, big deal. But guess what? If it's wrong, and I'm going, that kind of sounds almost musical, but you should recognize when it's wrong, it's really wrong. So when it's right, it's just more not wrong. It isn't really a strong musical cadence or something that resolves or sounds really great. But when it's wrong, it's wrong. So that's the problem with using E as an example. It's best to go with F when we're working with the E shape. So let's look at that E shape again. Sorry for the delay, but it's only through mistakes that we learn. And of course I've done this. I've made that mistake.